The Black Hole Within You, A Journey into Inner Infinity. Most people fear their inner darkness, but here's the twist. That darkness is a spiritual portal, not a prison, and entering it can elevate your soul faster than years of forcing positivity. The fastest progress rarely looks pretty. It looks like honest self-knowledge, where dreams, reality, and consciousness begin to line up and whisper your true self back into focus. If spirituality has ever felt vague, consider this a practical map. Awaken through simple meditation, subtle energy work, and grounded personal development you can apply tonight. Quick wins matter. 5 quiet breaths can shift your hearts and mood in under a minute, especially if you're energetically hypersensitive and craving inner peace. Ready to meet the higher self with both mysticism and real-life action, without losing your sense of humor along the way. Topic 1. The first pull of the inner abyss. He notices it first as a quiet tug behind the noise, like gravity calling his name from inside his own chest, reshaping reality without asking for permission. It isn't fear, not exactly, more like a strange curiosity, a whisper that his dreams have been trying to translate for years, nudging him toward self-knowledge and awakening he can't quite explain. This black hole within behaves like a spiritual portal, a doorway where energy turns inward and the higher self starts speaking in a different huts of consciousness, subtle, yet unmistakable. Those with energetic hypersensitivity feel it sooner. Lights feel brighter, rooms louder, moods heavier, as if the universe pressed the unmute button on his soul. He senses a calling to meditate, to taste inner peace, and to begin energy work gently, because transformation likes to arrive as a friend before it roars like a storm. A mentor would tell him to try a simple practice tonight. 3 minutes of breath counting, then place a hand on the heart and ask, what part of me is ready to heal? Then listen without fixing, just noticing the energetic tides. If he wants a book, start with The Power of Now to catch the mind as it loops and return to presence, pairing it with 10 quiet breaths whenever anxiety spikes. The shift is small but seismic for spiritual development. Keep a notepad by the bed to track dreams. Symbols often arrive before words during spiritual awakening, sketching a map toward personal growth and a truer self. Take a brief walk without headphones, tuning into wind, texture, color. Meditation on foot that steadies consciousness and softens the ego's rush. He isn't escaping reality. He's letting the soul reintroduce him to it, one aware step at a time. Then the symptoms begin to stack in patterns most people miss, ringing in the ears, waves of fatigue, bursts of intuition, and a sudden pull toward silence. Classic 7. Symptoms many report on the path of spiritual awakening and spiritual growth. Some days, the body hums like a tuning fork. Other days it aches as old stories leave the tissue. Both are forms of healing that ask him to hydrate, rest, and meditate in microdoses. This is where personal development meets mysticism. Less performing, more listening, less forcing, more aligning with the higher self and the quiet wisdom of the soul. He can try an energetic boundary ritual, visualize light around the body before entering crowded spaces, then exhale tension through the feet. Practical energy work for those sensitive to atmospheres. And somewhere just ahead, beyond the first pull, waits a deeper awakening, an event horizon of self-knowledge that feels both like surrender and a homecoming at once. Topic 2. Entering the event horizon. He steps closer, noticing how the usual distractions lose their grip, as if reality itself is inviting a slower rhythm where consciousness can breathe. It feels like balancing between worlds, one foot in responsibilities, the other in spirituality, where meditation becomes less of a task and more of a daily tune-up. The calling is steady now, dreams sharpen, coincidences stack, and the higher self drops breadcrumbs like a patient mentor with a mischievous grin. He recognizes a spiritual vision forming, not a fantasy, but a clean line through the fog that keeps pointing toward truth. The edges of identity soften, and he senses a transformation that doesn't need permission, only attention. Practical entry points help. Set a 7-minute timer, close the eyes, and count breaths up to 10, then start over when thoughts interrupt. This trains awareness without force. Keep a reality log. Note when intuition nudges. Text someone, take a different route, pause before replying, and track results over a week to witness energetic patterns. Use light hard sounds, like 432 Hz or gentle binaural beats, to support inner peace while journaling on the theme, what energizes my soul versus drains it. Create an energetic portal at your desk. One candle, one stone, one simple mantra, true self, true choice, and let it mark a boundary between noise and clarity. He doesn't need more willpower. He needs better conditions for awakening to unfold naturally. There's humor in the process too. He laughs at old narratives that once felt like iron bars, now exposed as cardboard cutouts by a wiser consciousness. This is personal growth by subtraction, removing what's not aligned, so spiritual development can move through clean channels. The universe is elegantly thrifty. When he releases a draining habit, energy rebounds like a spring, and inner peace becomes practical, not poetic. He starts to feel more him in less time, like the soul upgraded the software while the body slept. And just beyond this threshold lies the real test. What happens when the darkness starts talking back? Topic 3. Facing the singularity of shadow. He meets the dense core, regret, shame, anger, compressed memories that bend his sense of self until he finally looks without flinching. This isn't punishment. It's a rite of passage where spiritual awakening intersects with trauma-informed healing and serious self-knowledge. He discovers that mysticism doesn't replace therapy. It complements it, like energy work softening the soil so roots can untangle. Inner peace here is quiet courage, the kind that breathes through discomfort and chooses truth over performance. He realizes the higher self is not a judge, it's a surgeon with a feather-light hand. Try the name, locate, breathe method. Name the feeling in plain language, locate it in the body, then breathe a slow 4 to 6 count into that spot for 3 rounds. Pair this with journaling prompts. What story am I telling about this pain? And what would my soul say about it? For energetic clearing, rub palms to warm, hover them over the chest, and visualize exhaling smoke out the back of the heart. Simple energy work that often lightens heaviness. Read The Untethered Soul to learn how to watch thoughts without wrestling them. Then practice during a stressful email by pausing, relaxing the shoulders, and letting the surge pass. He doesn't defeat the shadow. He integrates it, and the universe seems to exhale with him. At times he feels energetic hypersensitivity spike. Crowds drain him, loud spaces fracture attention, and random tears feel oddly cleansing. He adapts. Earbuds with gentle tones, 5-minute resets in bathrooms, sun on the face to reset the nervous system. He reframes setbacks as maintenance. Spiritual development is less a straight line and more a spiral where old themes return with less bite. A subtle spiritual vision returns. He sees himself steady, honest, unhurried, living from the true self. And the next doorway opens where isolation once lived. Connection. Topic 4. The paradox of spiritual isolation. As awakening widens, he sometimes feels alone, not because people vanished, but because old conversations don't fit the new consciousness. Spiritual isolation isn't a flaw. It's a sign his reality is recalibrating and the soul is pruning to make space for aligned relationships. He learns to cherish quiet without glorifying loneliness, keeping a light on for the next tribe that resonates with his hats. Meditation becomes company. Energy becomes language, and the higher self becomes a better friend than the ego ever was. He realizes he's not withdrawn, he's listening. Practical bridges help. Join a local meditation group or a breathwork circle. Volunteer once a month where compassion is currency. Or start a tiny, consistent Sunday stillness call with 2 friends. Use yes-no by sensation. Yes feels warm, expansive. No feels tight, contracted. Let the body vote before the mind spins. Curate a micro-library for spiritual growth and personal development. The Power of Now, The Untethered Soul, and Awareness by Anthony DeMello. Keep a soul phone list, 5 people who elevate your energy, and rotate check-ins, even if brief voice notes are all that fit. He sees that connection is quality over quantity, and energy respects honesty. Curiosity returns, playful and bright. like a child sneaking back into the room after a storm. He notices how reality smiles when he aligns, small synchronicities, unexpected help, the right sentence at the right time. He feels the tug to share, not to preach but to serve from a stable center rather than a hungry ego. This is the early hum of calling, a spiritual awakening that wants to become useful, and when purpose peeks in, the body asks for new rituals to hold it. Topic 5. Building a body that can carry light. He learns that consciousness rides biology. If the vessel is jittery, the message gets scrambled, so he stabilizes the nervous system to amplify inner peace. Morning light before screens, protein with breakfast, a liter of water by noon, and a 20-minute walk become non-negotiable anchors for energy. The universe isn't testing him. It's training him to hold more charge without short-circuiting. Meditation shifts from heroic marathons to consistent 8 to 12-minute sets that keep channels clear. He realizes the soul loves rhythm, not drama. Try a 3-8-3 practice. 3 breaths on waking, 3 minutes of meditation midday, 3 gratitudes before bed, small hinges that swing big doors. Add a weekly energetic reset. Sauna or hot bath followed by cool rinse, then a slow stretch with long exhales to signal safety to the body. Explore gentle hertz soundscapes during journaling. Set a clear intention like elevate your soul and let words flow. Test caffeine timing. Move it after food to avoid anxious spikes that muddy spiritual development. He treats the body like a temple and a lab, reverent, curious, playful. With steadier energy, he notices impulses quiet and intuition clarify, choices feel cleaner, and the true self speaks without shouting. Dreams become instructional again, reality feels more cooperative, and consciousness starts to hum along like a well-tuned instrument. Spiritual vision sharpens when physiology is calm. The mind stops impersonating the higher self. He senses he's ready to hear the deeper calling, and when calling speaks, it asks for alignment, not theatrics. Topic 6. Answering the calling. Purpose doesn't arrive as a job title. It arrives as fidelity to the next honest action that lifts his soul and helps someone else. He experiments with service as a compass. Where giving energizes him, he leans in. Where it drains, he learns boundaries. Personal development merges with mysticism as he treats life like a feedback loop, from creation to reflection to refinement. He starts small, one helpful thread, one sincere message, one mindful project. The universe loves momentum more than perfection. A practical map. Choose one soul skill, listening, teaching, storytelling, energy work, and create a weekly offering, newsletter, short video, or local session. Use a 90-9-1 rhythm, 90 minutes deep work, 9 minutes reset, stretch or breathe. 1 honest check-in. Is this aligned with my higher self? Track resonance, not vanity metrics. Energy first, number second. Build a quiet marketing habit. 1 daily thank you, 1 daily ask, 1 daily share. Let reality co-create. If it opens, keep walking. If it tightens, pivot without drama. He discovers that calling is less about grand gestures and more about consecrated routine. Small fires tended daily. The soul stops chasing meaning and starts producing it. 1 aligned act at a time. Consciousness feels sturdier. Humor returns. And inner peace becomes practical confidence. He senses a threshold ahead, the kind where a different gravity takes over. And thresholds, by their nature, test devotion. Topic 7. Crossing the threshold. Surrender and trust control loosens its grip as he practices surrender, choosing clear action and releasing fixation on outcomes. Enlightenment is glimpsed not as fireworks, but as ordinary moments saturated with presence, washing dishes, walking, listening fully. He notices that reality is kinder when he doesn't wrestle it. Spiritual development accelerates when he stops arguing with what is. The higher self isn't far away. It's the awareness behind every inhale. He learns to trust the timing. Try the 2-path journal. Write Plan A, ego's push, and Plan B, soul's pull. Then pick the smallest shared next step and do only that today. Practice micro-surrenders. Unclench the jaw, soften the belly, relax the tongue, 3 times a day to remind the body of safety. When anxiety spikes, step outside, find the horizon line, and breathe to a slow count of 6. Let the nervous system borrow the calm of distance. Schedule sacred slack. 1 hour weekly where nothing must happen. Often the best ideas walk in unannounced. Keep asking, what would love do next? And then do it plainly. He experiences flashes of unity where the edges blur. Reality softens, consciousness brightens, and the true self feels obvious. Energetic hypersensitivity becomes a gift, fine-tuned perception that spots misalignment early. This isn't a final arrival, it's a clean channel. And just when the journey could drift into abstraction, integration calls him back to street-level life. Topic 8. Integration. Living as the true self, he returns to the ordinary with upgraded presence, letting spirituality express through emails, errands, and eye contact. Spiritual vision means paying bills on time, saying no kindly, and keeping promises to self, mysticism with a day planner. He becomes consistent more than intense, steady more than spectacular, free more than performative. The black hole within has become an inner sun, same center, new light. Inner peace feels earned and renewable. A weekly integration stack helps. Monday, plan priorities from the soul. Midweek, adjust by energy, not ego. Friday, harvest lessons and celebrate tiny wins. Keep one practice no matter what. 5 breaths, a short meditate, or a gratitude note to anchor reality. Revisit dreams monthly and look for repeating symbols. Use them as prompts for personal growth. Maintain energetic hygiene, light movement, nature time, and 1 digital Sabbath to reset consciousness. Share 1 insight with 1 person every week. Service seals the learning. He notices a quiet confidence. Less friction, more flow, fewer apologies for being himself, more honesty and fewer words. The higher self doesn't need a microphone. Presence carries its own signal. The journey remains cyclical, awakening, deepening, integrating, and he's learned to enjoy the ride. The universe keeps opening doors for those who walk with clean intention, and now he's invited to keep walking with company. Let's get real. How much longer will you negotiate with patterns that drain your energy when your soul is begging for a cleaner reality? Which tiny ritual will you adopt today? 5 breaths before your phone, a 2-minute meditate at lunch, or a nightly what needs healing? Check in to shift your consciousness without burning out. If your dreams have been tapping your shoulder, what would it look like to answer? With 1 honest action, not a grand plan. Drop a comment with your strongest aha, your current 7 symptoms, or the 1 boundary you'll set this week to protect your inner peace. Subscribe and enable notifications to keep opening this spiritual portal together. Short, potent practices that elevate your soul, ground your energy, and help your true self lead the way.